Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so I'm coming on to show you how I will use this old book to make a journal. This is going to be the cover for a journal that I'm going to be making. Now, it's an old book, but even still, I don't like to throw the inside away. I'm going to gut it, but I'm going to keep the inside pages because I will coffee stain these and use them in future journals. So first of all, what I'm going to do is take a scalpel and I'm going to gut this book. So all I do, now this book has got to be one of these ones, I'll show you, that's not attached here. You get some books that are totally bound, but this one, if you can see, has got the space. I think there is a name for that, but I don't know what it's called. But it's got to be one of these ones that have the spaces anyway. So what that does is allows me to put my knife in and separate the book from the binding. Now sometimes this is really easy and it comes away. Other times you've got to just give it a wee helping hand. A minute, I need to stand it up and see if I'm cutting in the right place. Once you get it started, that's it. So I'm just running my knife all the way down like that, and that's separated the front bit. I'm going to move this just now. I've got that there because I'm going to do some put some napkins on. Lorna Callahan sent me some beautiful napkins this week, and I said I would show how I use some napkins, so that's what I'm going to do with this. So I've taken out the guts, so like I say, I've got lots of paper now that I can coffee dye. So I will come on, I'll do a separate video and show how I will now turn this into a binding, but what I'm going to do is put down some paper just to protect the mat, because the Mod Podge, when it dries, it's murder to get off, and then put my book down. This is The Scarecrow Anti-Servant by Philip Pullman. So yeah, okay, so I've got my Mod Podge. Now, the napkins that I've chosen are this beautiful RNLI Lifeboat, and this is a blueprint one Lorna sent me. And then for a background one, because this doesn't fit over the whole book, and I want to have it going this way horizontally, so I've also chosen a corresponding one, which is this one, and the nautical colours as well. So basically what I'm going to do is open up the napkin. Now I was given a tip how to do this, but I've not used it yet. I'm just, there we go, separating it and taking off the top layer, like so. Now I'm not going to decoupage with this, or decoupage, I'm just going to put it straight on the way it is, because that's how I want to use it today. So that is going to basically go straight on there, like so. Now what you could do if you wanted to have this, you could have it so that the green doesn't, sorry I can't get my words out today, so that the green doesn't show through so much. You could gesso this and then let it dry, but I'm not going to do that just now because I actually don't mind this colour, because once the napkin goes over the top of it, it'll make it look, because obviously white with the green will make it a bit more pale. So I'm just, and there's a wee bit of colour coming out this brush because I used it for painting, but it doesn't matter. So I'm just going all over with my Mod Podge, all the way over. I think this is a really nice project. I like doing this. It's just really relaxing. So again, I'm doing this, I'm going to count this as one of my 100 things for Rebecca's challenge, Dances with Pit Bulls, because I'm using up my napkins and I'm using up an old book. Actually, I'm just going to go straight across. I'm going to give this brush, I've washed this brush out loads of times and it's still got a lot of colour coming out it. I think it's because I used it with the Tim Holtz inks. It's still got tons and tons of colour coming at it. And my other brush, I haven't washed yet. I have got smaller ones, but I like these ones. Okay, like I say, I know that it matters because you don't see it when it dries anyway, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so anyway. So you just keep going over and cover it. I want to try, this is the, I like this Mod Podge. This is the, what do you call it? The matte one, because not only does it dry matte, but it's a good glue as well. But I want to try and get the gloss one, just to try it and see different projects. So I'm just painting this all over, like so. Making sure I get a really good coverage because I don't want any of it to be sticking up. I want this to be really permanent, especially because it's going to be a journal cover, and it's going to get handled a lot. So there we go. Now, I don't know, I can't stand Mod Podge, do you know that? I hate the way it dries on my hands and on my desk. That's why I've got that paper down. I don't like the texture of it. I don't know what it is. Not like a normal glue, it's like it goes dry. Anyway, so I'm going to take my napkin, pop that out the way just now, and make sure that I've got it. I probably want it going this way. Is it going to fit that way? I think it's the same way. Is it the same size? Yeah, so I think I'm going to want it going this way. Now if it's slightly shorter, it doesn't matter because I can add a bit in at the other end. We've got loads of these napkins, so I'm just going in and using my fingers. Now I don't mind having, when it dries, having some lumps. I like it actually because it gives it some texture. I know some people don't like it, so they go over and totally smooth it out, but I don't actually mind because you know me and texture, I really like it. So I'm not putting any more Mod Podge over the top at this point. I'm just going around with my brush and making sure that it's all adhered down the spine and over there. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a wee bit more down this edge just to make sure that it sticks like that. Okay, then what I'm going to do is take my beautiful lifeboat napkin and separate this out. Now you get the 4 on here, 4 images, and I only need 1, which is good because it means these napkins Lorna sent me will last a long time because there's lots of images, 4 on each one. So I've got that, and I'm just going to take, you know, it's really, I was just looking out there, it's really sunny outside today, but it's absolutely freezing. And I've been hearing a lot of people saying that it's to start raining and things next, is it this week, next week? And it doesn't surprise me, it's so cold out there. Right, so now I'm just going to, I'm not adding any more on at this stage. I'm just deciding where I want my image roughly on the book, and then I'm just pressing that down there. Now this is just how I do it. I mean, I know there's loads of different techniques, but this is just how I do it. So I'm just folding it back a wee bit, and then I'm adding on, I'm not adding on tons actually, I'm just sort of putting this on a bit sparingly. This is just to really tack it down because I'm going to put more over the top to seal it. So I've done that on that side, and then the same on this side, just some to tack it down. Give it a wee spread out. Okay, so I know now that that is where I want it, and I'm going to go, I will turn it around, I'll show you guys. I just want to get this on while the Mod Podge, while the napkin is damp. So I'm just going over now. And I'm being quite liberal with it because I want it now to secure it and stick it, and this seals it also. So obviously this is just part one of this journal. I'll do it in several parts and come back and show you what it's like when it's dried, and then how I go on to complete the journal from this book. But I just wanted to show you another technique how I use my napkins. I have got a lot of fabric, and I will be doing fabric journals and some more in the future. But I really like this technique because the texture that it gives to the journal is amazing. So we're almost there. Just making sure the whole napkin is covered. And at this point you might be looking at it when you're doing it and thinking, oh my god, what's happening? My image is disappearing, but it doesn't dry like that. So there we go. Now that has raised a wee bit, and what I do is I just run my finger over, because sometimes it can stick to the paintbrush like that. Okay, so I'll pop that over there. Get a baby wipe. I'm going to take this off of here. Oops, and have a wee look at it. Okay, I'll show you guys how it is looking. Alright, so this is how it is looking so far. As you can see, it looks a bit like the image is disappearing, but that when that dries it really pops back out. So that is the front. That's how it's looking. Now I will at this point trim around and take off the excess napkin. You can do this after it dries as well, and a lot of people wait until it dries and then use a nail file to take it off. I like taking it off at this stage. I don't know why, it's just preference. Everybody does it different. Like I say, you might be shouting at my screen saying I do things differently, but as crafters, that is our personal license. Our freedom to craft. So I'm just chopping off these wee extra bits. And the reason I like doing that at this stage as well is because I can see then what bits need more Mod Podge and what don't. So it saves me letting it dry, then cutting it off, and then seeing what bits haven't stuck. So by this way, it means I can see it at this stage and stick it at this stage, rather than waiting and having to redo it again and then wait until it dried again. Okay. I'm not so much bothered about any wee tiny rough bits because they can get taken off at the end. So I'm going to turn this piece over. Okay, so now what I would do is, because I've got a tiny wee bit down here that's still green, I actually really like that. I don't know, it sort of adds a wee bit age to the book, but I'm not going to leave it. I'm going to cover it just to show you guys. So I'm just tearing off bits of the napkin so that the lines are facing the same way. And I'm just going to add some glue or some Mod Podge here and pop this down to the edge. Now I'm not lining the lines up. You can if you want, if you've got a repeating pattern and you're matching it up, but again, I like it, and I think because it's a junk journal it just looks nice. If you add a wee bit of, I don't know, I like the texture, I like the roughness. I think a junk journal should be this kind of junk journal anyway. It's different if you're using, you know, specifics and you want it to be like shabby chic or something like that, but if you're doing it like this, it's messy and I love it. It's really arty, I think. So it's tearing off another piece, and I've made this piece a bit bigger. I'll just go in like that and add that piece there. This takes me back to being at school. Do you know that, when you used to do the paper mache? Do you know what, that bit's folded over, and I'm going to leave that folded over. I'll show you in a wee second. I like it like that. And then just keep going all the way down to the bottom. Adding it on wherever you feel it needs it. Like I said, you could do this all over the book. And if you didn't want the colour of the book showing through, like I said, just gesso it first. So that bit there, and lastly we'll have a wee shorter bit, and I'm just going to pop that there. Okay, so as you can see, I've got bits folded over, I've got different sized bits. I think that looks really cool, and when it dries it's going to look super cool. This bit here, I've got a wee tear down the back with the green showing through. Now I could recover that up, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it like that. You can also take them, the napkin right over the edge of the book if you wanted to as well. Some books I have done that actually, taking it right over into the inside. But for this one, I really do like the book that I've chosen. I like the green, it's nice coming through. So what I'm going to do here, just to sort of shabby it up a bit, I'm going to pull back the napkin at the corner, just rub it back a bit so that the green's showing underneath, and I'm going to try and make a feature of the corner and the colour of the book. So I've just pulled that back and I'm decoupaging it, not decoupaging it, sorry, Mod Podging it. And then all I'm going to do now is just go right round the edge with the Mod Podge, making sure any bits that are sticking up get stuck down at this point. Like I said, it's easier at this point than having to go back and do it again and waiting on it drying again. I know Mod Podge doesn't take a really long time to dry, but still it's a pain when you're wanting to get on with a project and it's taking ages to dry. So just go round, make sure your edges are stuck. If you want them stuck, you might not. You might want them to be a bit rougher at the edge. I'm going to stick this one down and just go right round the edge and make sure. I'm actually pulling that bit back a bit again, away from the green. And I think that bit's all stuck. Check this side. Just go round and round and round. Pull it back a wee bit on itself. You see what I mean? So I've pulled it up like so. Okay, so I quite like that, the way that has turned out just now. And that is, let's tip it up a tiny bit. That is how the cover of this journal is going to look with the napkins. You can see it's going to be, oh, I love it, it's going to be so cool, it's going to be textured. Oops, stand there. Okay, here's a better view of it. So you can see where I've taken it down at the corner to let the green underneath come through. Again, if you'd have gessoed that, you could have let the white come through. So there's all different techniques that you can do with this, but I just think once this dries, it's going to be an absolutely cool as cover. See where I've got the different bits folded over, different sizes. So yeah, I love it. I think it's going to be so cool. So that is part 1 of using my napkins to make this junk journal. So in part 2 I will show how I put the inserts in, how I do the binding, and what I do to cover these inside bits. So yeah, let's go. Thanks everybody, and that is my number 6 to my 100 challenge for Dance with Pitbulls. Please give me a thumbs up everybody, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys all again soon. Bye bye.